What's up, guys? I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Trey Jones, and today we're going to be talking about cognitive symptoms of anxiety. Now go ahead and do me a favor and smash that like button down below, only if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment as well. Let me know if you're dealing with any of these, because guys, you are not alone. I dealt with this. It was probably one of the more frustrating aspects of anxiety, because not only was I hurting physically and emotionally, but I was hurting mentally. This actually led to my social anxiety. So we're gonna go over those. But first, I want to let you know, that I'm not a psychologist, therapist, counselor, or medical doctor. I don't replace those things, okay? I'm just a guy who went through a lot of bad stuff, and I'm trying to do the world some good and share my experiences on how I got over my anxiety disorders. I suffered from them for 5 years, and I'm trying to turn my negative experiences into positive ones. That's what this channel is about. I'm just trying to help people out. So, with that being said, let's dive right on into this, guys. The first symptom that I want to talk about is hallucinations. And yes, that's scary, but it can happen under huge amounts of trauma and stress. Now, I had auditory hallucinations for the most part, but the very first panic attack I did have was a visual hallucination, or quite a few. That first panic attack, obviously I was under a huge amount of stress. It was the worst one I ever had. It was 6 hours long. So you can imagine adrenaline being pumped through your body that long. It's definitely going to affect your cognitive function. So I was seeing flashes, I was seeing shapes, I would see like wispy, smoky stuff in the corners of my vision. It was a really scary experience, and that really made me feel like I was about to die. Like I felt like I was seeing stuff as I was crossing over to the other side, because at that moment I thought I was having a heart attack. Now, auditory hallucinations, I had this for quite some time until my anxiety started to dwindle down and I started to improve on it and recover. A lot of times this has happened, close to bedtime, whenever I was just laying there being super hyper aware. And anytime I would nod off, I would hear some crazy noise, like a knock at the door, a bell ringing, a siren. A couple times actually I heard like a lion or a tiger roar. It sounded very scary to me in the moment, and I would always jump up and freak out. But I heard this stuff also whenever I wasn't trying to fall asleep. So it was pretty scary. I was extremely jumpy, and I was startled very easily during this period of time. So overall, that was not a fun experience. And that brings me to another experience that wasn't so fun, and that was depersonalization, derealization. I would only usually experience this during my most hyped up stress and anxiety moments, especially during panic attacks. It happened to me whenever I was being traumatized, and panic attacks did traumatize me. And this is one of your body's defense mechanisms, along with your fight or flight response. And a lot of times these things can actually happen simultaneously. It's a feeling of being detached, distorted reality. Everything around you feels fake. You feel like you're in a dream. Some people have described it as floating above their original self, watching the whole situation like a movie. It's a very scary situation, and it's another symptom that really made me feel like I was about to die. Either that or I was losing my mind, one or the other. So if you're dealing with that, a quick shout out to the Anxiety Ninja. Go check out his channel. A lot of great tips. He has his whole story on depersonalization, derealization. He actually does online coaching for that, and he has an amazing course. So you can go check that out on his channel. Something else that I had, I was mentioning how I had these auditory hallucinations, especially close to bed. I would also have horrible nightmares. Studies everywhere have shown that anxiety can increase the frequency of nightmares. I would have very vivid ones, very violent ones. I'm not going to get into detail. That could be a whole nother video, a whole nother can of worms. But I would have horrible, vivid nightmares, especially, I wouldn't call them nightmares, I guess you could say daymares. Whenever I would take a nap during the day, man, and I'm not the only one, but whenever I would take naps during the day, I would have the most horrible nightmares, either like a nuclear war, zombies, just anything and everything. I was always in these horrible battles. I had these horrible like T-Rex chasing me type dream. Man, I had the worst, and they were very vivid, very bloody, very detailed, and I hate that, but that's something that I dealt with. The next one is brain fog, and we can throw all of these things into brain fog. Brain fog is just what it sounds like. It's like fog in your brain, it's cloudy, it's foggy, and it really impairs you as far as your cognitive functioning goes. So you're going to have problems with remembering things, so memory loss, memory problems, forgetfulness, that's very common. And like I said, this led to my social anxiety because I wasn't any longer comfortable talking to people. I also would have, what you would call brain farts. I would lose my train of thought. So I'd be talking and out of nowhere I would have nothing to say. I would forget everything. It was so embarrassing. I couldn't even have normal conversations. And I was a social butterfly before I developed my anxiety disorder. So this is something that really hit hard for me. So I struggled with that. I would forget the names of famous people, like actors or musicians. I couldn't remember the names of certain movies. I couldn't remember directions to certain places. I couldn't put names with faces. Some of the most awkward moments of my life and awkward conversations and situations happened whenever I was going through this brain fog deal. So I started to isolate myself, push people away. It's not a good thing to do, but I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just natural whenever you're going through that. I became ashamed, embarrassed, and the furthest thing, I just wanted to be as far away from people as possible. So I started staying home a lot, distancing myself from even family and friends. I just felt like nobody could understand me. So the next one, guys, is just overall disorientation. It's a state of confusion. This can happen as well, especially during things like panic attacks. And like I said, a lot of these can be thrown into each other's category. A lot of these can be under depersonalization. A lot of these can be under brain fog. So I just want you guys to know, if you're dealing with these things, you are not alone. These things often, as far as brain fog, it seemed like it was the slowest thing to come on, but it was the last thing to leave me. So be patient with the brain fog, especially if you're doing all the right things. All these things can be improved by improving your overall anxiety levels, okay? You need to make sure that you're getting rid of your anxiety day by day. All of my tips are down below. The symptoms will start to dwindle. You will see some, light at the end of that tunnel. You just have to work hard for it. You have to keep pushing at it every single day. All of my tips for anxiety are down below. Make sure that you check those out if you haven't. Guys, if you haven't tried therapy, that's down there as well. It's cheaper than in-person therapy. You can choose from thousands of therapists, so you can find somebody that deals with your situation and fits your case perfectly. Make sure that you try that out. You can also do it on the phone, so you don't have to leave the house and actually go through the hassle of finding anybody for that. So also, there are journals. Make sure that you're meditating and journaling every single day, guys. I know you hear me say that every day. I'm going to continue to tell you that every day because so many of you dismiss it. That can really speed up your recovery process. So make sure you follow those tips. Check out the therapy if you haven't, and if you've been suffering for a while. Also, make sure that you check out journaling and meditation. There's a meditation journal, a morning journal, a fat loss nutrition journal, because you need to be working on your diet and your exercise anyways for a healthy life. But especially that helps with anxiety disorders. My Snapchat, my Twitter, my Instagram is down there. The Facebook group, we just hit 20,000 members. Mind-boggling, huge community of people that are going through various anxiety disorders. It's all welcome there, especially any type of anxiety disorder, like I said, and depression. You're welcome there. So go join that group. We help each other out. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so you get updates when I put my videos out. And like this video if you got any value, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you deal with any of these or if I left anything out. Sometimes I do that. I'm not perfect. I just try to help people out. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, talk to you later.